Die Leute fragen sich, warum ich einen roten Anzug trage. Nun, das ist, damit meine Feinde nicht sehen, wenn ich blute. Der mit der braunen Hose hat das Prinzip verstanden.
Hey, abonniert, Daumen hoch und Kommentar da lassen, ne? Jungs, ist klar.
I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make.
Ihr habt es wahrscheinlich schon erkannt, sehr deutsch hier Socken und Birkenstock, aber wichtig sind die Socken, hier ist nämlich Wolverine drauf, passend zur heutigen Premiere, bei der wir sind, Deadpool und Wolverine. Und am Teppich werden heute unter anderem Hugh Jackman erwartet, Reynolds und der Regisseur Shawn Levy und auch noch Corrin, die die Bösewichtin in diesem Film spielt, und die Produzentin des Films ist auch mit dabei. Also seid super gespannt, wen wir alles vor unser Mikro bekommen, und ja, freut euch auf das Event.
Ich erwarte viel Sarkasmus und viel Ironie und viel vierte Wand durchbrechen.
So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to.
Ich liebe halt Deadpool auf jeden Fall, aber ich finde alle Ryan Reynolds Filme wirklich super. Free Guy fand ich auch sehr toll.
Wo wir auch bei Shawn Levy sind, der ja auch genau dort auch Regie geführt hat.
Ja, genau. Auch cool.
Naja, wir Synchronsprecher haben ja den großen Vorteil, dass die Schauspieler das ja schon vorspielen. Und wir haben uns halt darauf spezialisiert, das Schauspiel nachzuspielen, so gut wie möglich. Natürlich auch vielleicht mit ein bisschen Eigeninterpretation, aber dadurch schaffe ich es, glaube ich, auch so unterschiedliche Rollen immer wieder verschieden anzulegen. Das hilft natürlich dabei.
Hast du auch eine Lieblingsrolle, die du sprichst?
Also es ist tatsächlich Deadpool. Ich habe auch wahnsinnig gern Captain America gesprochen, aber der Chris Evans spielt ihn ja nun nicht mehr. Und insofern ist Deadpool mein Favorite.
I can say as long as Ryan Reynolds is starring in the movie, it will always be authentic to the Deadpool tone that he has set, and we will not disappoint the fans.
Who were you more excited about to meet?
Well, actually, I met Ryan when I was 15. He was working on his first TV show. My uncle actually produced his first TV show. So it was still very scary to meet him many years later, but there was a little familiarity there. I was very starstruck when I met Hugh, for sure.
And do you still remember one moment from set, because you probably spent some time on set, that is still like in your mind because it was like too funny or very memorable?
I think one of my most memorable moments from set, without spoiling the movie, is one of the funniest parts of the movie. When in the script form, it was just one line on the page. This thing happens, right? And so when we went to the set to figure out what that was, it was just Ryan and Shawn and Hugh talking and figuring it out, and it became one of the funniest scenes in the movie. And they're just magical moments like that throughout the film.
And one last question. How does this film in the MCU differ from other productions from the MCU?
You mean creatively, how is it different? Well, it's very irreverent, it pokes fun at itself, it's meta. You know, Deadpool is such a fanboy of the MCU and all of the Avengers, right? There's that self-awareness and the R rating, I guess. Yeah.
Nervously, and I don't really care what you think of me respectfully. You can kick rocks if you think you're fucking better. See, I will outwork you, turn you to an enemy. Hurt you so bad that you're gonna need some.
Playing a villain. I'd never toyed with the dark side of life before, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, and also working on a film that has this much of a legacy of, that this has this much love behind it. It's a lot of pressure, but I loved it.
What was your inspiration for the role of Cassandra Nova? So did you have like anything in your mind while you were playing the character?
Ryan came in with a reference of Christoph Waltz's character in *Inglourious Bastards*, and then I brought sort of Gene Wilder, Willy Wonka to the table for a bit more of an uncanny side to it, and so we toyed with those, and it was really fun to have references to bounce off and develop something from.
And do you still have like one memorable moment from set?
There are too many to list. I mean, every day was an adventure for me because I'd never done anything like this before. So yeah, I mean, everything was fantastic.
And how was it like working with Shawn, Hugh, and Ray?
They are three of the nicest guys I've ever met in my life. Yeah.
You don't know shit, shut your mouth, you can save it. I'm the same dude that got his come up from the basement. 100 songs, 100 weeks, didn't change it. Experiments, development, intelligence, and patience. I'll do it all again, cause I never feel complacent. Let's keep the good vibes, positivity's contagious. I'm never looking back, cause I made a...
It's your first Marvel project. How much freedom that you had while like doing the movie?
I think I got very lucky because my first Marvel movie is a Deadpool movie. So when I walked in the door, they knew, oh, this is not a regular MCU movie. This is going to be something subversive and audacious and different. So we had very, very little constraints, and it was like being a kid in the greatest creative sandbox I could imagine.
So was there anything that was not possible?
Literally the only rule that they ever gave us was early on. Kevin Feige said, hey guys, I know Wade sometimes does cocaine with Blind Al. No cocaine, okay? And we went home and we wrote the first joke in this movie, which is Wade Wilson telling the audience that Kevin Feige says no cocaine.
No one's going to believe a word I say. I did mean what I said when I said I think I'm done playing Wolverine, and no, that wasn't true. It was August 14th, 2022, and I was on my way out. I was driving, and I just, like that, knew I wanted to do it again, and I pulled over, called Ryan, and because I knew that Shawn and he were going to shoot another movie, but I didn't know where they were at, and I said, I want to do it. I know we've been flirting about this for a while, but I want it, not in a Tinder way, but just flirting metaphorically. And there was a long pause, which I thought was an awkward way for him to say, I don't know how to say no to you, but there was a long pause, and he said, you're not going to believe this, but we have a meeting with Feige in like a number of hours. And so we rang, and it was actually after I hung up, I thought, I think I should call my agent to say that I've just said I'm going to do a movie playing Wolverine again, and I've never been happier playing him. I've never had more fun. I just knew in my gut, Stephen, that I wanted to do this with Ryan as Deadpool. I knew that when I saw Deadpool 1. I just announced that I was done, and I was watching the movie going, I think I blew it, because I could see it. I could see how these two characters would work, and I knew Shawn was attached, so it was, yeah, I just jumped in fully. And was it harder? Hell yeah, it was harder. It was so much harder physically, but it was worth it.
Absolute beast. But it really was remarkable that he had called, I mean, that in that moment where Shawn and I were about to go into, you know, another firing squad over at Marvel, and, you know, I remember we were pitching, halfway through the pitch, we just pivoted. Listen, fuck it, Hugh called us today, and you know, and I was nervous because the first pitch I'd made years and years ago was with the Deadpool Wolverine movie, so I thought, I couldn't quite understand why this wasn't clicking, and it was almost as though Kevin had no recollection of that first pitch, and was just like, wait, what? And I was like, yes, he just called and he wanted, and he said, well, can we do that? And then we sort of winged it, a pitch, which is always the best pitches for movies, when you sort of act like you've been thinking about this thing for so long and you have it all mapped out, but like it comes out of your mouth kind of all mapped out. That is what happened, and that was that day. That was the why to make the movie, and then why Wolverine I felt like was a separate thing, because we had to steer as far away from and respect Mangold's Logan, which we feel is a masterpiece, and you know, but instead of like, you know, resisting that as much, we also leaned into it,
which they saw. I mean, you've seen those first, so you see that we aren't ignoring Logan. We have a reverence for that film, and we're also going to play with those expectations. And I don't want to spoil it,
but it also allows, you know, and Hugh can probably speak to this more, but it allows Hugh to give the world a version of Wolverine that is different and exists in a sort of slightly different way. And I just personally got to a front row seat to see this guy who's my closest friend in the world do a thing at a level that you just never get to experience. I mean, thank God I'm wearing a mask, because I just look like a moron under it with my eyes just like, you know, just in utter shock, watching his just clarity in that role, and such clarity, especially given the fact that it was different than the Wolverine we'd seen before, and it was really magical.
Bad boy! Team Wolverine!
I've never taken a vacation as fun as working on this film.
Honestly, I feel like I've waited my entire life to be a part of and make a movie like this. Thank you for everything.